Harshbhai, a question which entrepreneurs like me may often ask is, I'm 55, should I scale up? So I think a question which what I'm getting from a lot of people is, when is the right time to scale? Should I scale? What are the things you should keep in mind before you make that decision? Yeah, it's time to go out and scale.
See, there are two sets of issues. One is your personal desire to grow. You have suggested a certain age, which to me doesn't make any sense. So it is nothing related to age. It is that burning desire to succeed, which will lead to scale up. So if you don't have the desire to succeed, and if you're 55, and if you say that, okay, I want to take life easy, then it's better not to scale up. But if you don't scale up, then you are falling behind. So then you have to start asking the question that do you want to be in business? So you have two options. One is to recruit a CEO or one of your family members if that person is ready to hand over the charge. Other is to sell the business or close it down. So I think that decision, and it's an important page you've written, whether it's 50, 55, 60, I think there is a certain change in one's thinking, and you've done that business development for a long period of time, and you want to reinvent yourself, want to do new things. So it's perfectly okay to raise those questions, do I want to be in business? And that's very natural, I would say. A lot will depend on the individual. At 55, suppose if you start at 40, 45 and you still have a desire to grow, there is nothing wrong in scaling up at 55. Why 55? People have started business. I think Captain Nair of Leela started business at 65 or 70, the Leela Hotel. So there is nothing wrong. And I don't think it's related to age, but it's related to personal mindset. What do I want to do at that particular stage in my life? And I've seen many recent past, many individuals who have given thriving practice, or somebody like Ashish Dhawan, he's left everything and into full-time into charities. But that's his mindset, and that's what he wanted to do. So I won't say that there is a right answer. I think a lot will depend on the individual. But it's better to go on thinking about it and say, what do I want to do in life? I think the second question you raised was, when should an organization scale up?
Right.
So that's a completely different, it's related more to the business part of it. And I think a lot depends on to what extent, where have you arrived. So in your first phase of startup or post-startup, do you have the necessary building blocks in terms of the business? Are you seeing traction in terms of growth? Are you seeing newer opportunities? Do you see business opportunities in whatever you're doing, or related to what you're doing? So I think if you're struggling in terms of existing business, either in terms of execution or processes, or things are not going as per your original plan, then you can't start thinking of scaling up, because if your fundamentals are weak and if your building blocks are very, very weak, then if you start scaling up, then it will again hit you more, because you are doing it at a larger scale. So I would say that the business has to come to a certain, I would say break even or making profitability, but a certain stability in terms of ability to handle growth. And at that time, I think one should start scaling. But I think growth is very important. You can't say I will not grow. So I think in mind you have to say you have to grow. And for me to grow, I need to have necessary building blocks. Let me get over it and then start growing. If you have a mindset of not growing, then you are actually falling behind. And then it's actually you're losing your competitiveness in the marketplace compared to many other competitors, or you may just fall behind, and then it leads to demotivation within the organization. Because if the promoter is giving signal that he doesn't want to grow, I think the existing people who are in the organization, they will leave. Because most of your talent will need a certain challenge. And if they don't see that challenge coming, a challenge, a desirable future in terms of whatever, financial, otherwise, in terms of status, if they don't see that the entrepreneur is driven within, they will all leave. So the business will go downhill if the mindset is not to grow. So the mindset has always to be to grow, provided you have the necessary building block and you see opportunity.